And we are live again. Roofing on the rise.
Sorry about the sound bites, people.
That was fun. So yeah, we're live again in an undisclosed whiskey and cigar room,
AKA Thunder's Resort. If you don't know, now you know.
Now you know.
We'd finish that, but it wouldn't be politically correct.
Right. So for everyone that didn't get to hear us, I fucking love this because it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. You know, so like we just had an awesome time and nobody got to enjoy everything. So anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about GAF solar, GAF energy. This is something that's big right now. Solar is big. So let's talk about this because you just installed one this last week, right?
Yeah, we just installed one. It was actually our third install. We are excited about the product. We feel honored to have been one of the first group of people selected by GAF to be able to help roll it out. But, you know, being one of the first guys comes with helping them work out the bugs and figuring out the system and figuring out the process, you know, which comes with a few just headaches along the way, but we're getting it right.
Okay.
Ultimately, the final product's been right on all of them.
Yeah.
You know, there's just been some learning as you go, as far as, you know, the number one rule in sales is under commit and over deliver. And, you know, some of these processes have just taken longer than expected, which makes you have potentially committed to a quicker timeline than it actually took. But, you know, the last couple jobs we installed were actually sold last fall. So we were really more on like a 5 to 6 month timeline as opposed to the 2-month timeline that we have told people. But,
okay.
you know, but they've worked some of those kinks out. Some of that's been new product, you know, having to get through HOA approvals, even though they really can't. You know, there's laws in place that prohibit them excluding certain solar, you know, applications,
Right.
but, you know, they can, you know, dictate what slope they go on, but as long as you can show a reasonable amount of energy gain by putting it on the front slopes, they still have to accept it. But because it's a brand new product, they, you know, it just had to go through the variance committees. And, you know, there's a lot of places that variance, like in the Woodlands, we had one in Sterling Ridge.
Yeah.
You know, that variance committee meets once a quarter.
Oh shit.
Right. So you go through the normal process and you got to wait for the variance committee. And then when they finally meet, you got to go and meet with them and just show them what it is, explain what it is. And ultimately we were successful and we got that one approved in the Woodlands. We just did one this last week over in the West Houston area, more Memorial Beltway 8 area.
Okay.
You know, over there, and it went off really well. It's been my favorite one to date, specifically because of the shingle color. You know, the first one we did back like last August was birchwood, which,
oh, dude, come on, man.
which is practically like whitish gray.
Right.
And, you know, and it still turned out very nice and smooth. And kind of an awareness thing for me is that what it looks like from my drone is not what it looks like from the ground.
Right.
You know, there's a certain reflectivity that you get where the solar arrays kind of somewhat cast off a little bit of the hue of the shingles next to it, so it blends in a little bit better. But up the drone footage that we took on that, you know, it definitely stood out a little more than it does on this last one was charcoal. So when you have
it looked really sexy, dude.
Freaking clean,
oh my god,
man. It looks so clean. The way that's just kind of tied in.
You're doing good on your Facebook stories, by the way.
And we try, dude. I've got a solid employee that's been delegated that responsibility of just daily content. You know, I managed that for myself for a long time, and it just got to be a little.
Who is that employee?
I got to give shout out to my lady Kat.
My
lady Kat.
If you're watching, big shout out for all that Facebook content. You're doing a good job, girl.
Catherine Terrell, aka Kat. Kills it every day for us.
Kills it on the dance floor too.
That she does.
I mean, if you were at the Harka awards night, you'd have known.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I mean, everybody got out and boogied that night. Even you.
Yeah, myself. I mean, hey, but if you know me, that's, you know, I'm no stranger to the dance floor.
Oh yeah.
Only thing I'm more regular on is a microphone. put some karaoke on, and I'm down to go.
So tell me about the wiring, man. That's something that like scares the shit out of me. Somebody, I've had a few solar companies on the broadcast so far, and
Yeah.
um, one of the times got brought up that you know the wiring and the inverters were cheap, right? And so it caused a fire.
Wow.
It burned part of the house down, and
Dang.
so there's an issue there with the materials, probably the labor, right? They probably didn't have a master electrician. They probably just got somebody that was just doing the mom and pop type thing, and like
Man, that's scary.
you just can't do that with solar.
No, man, and I'll be honest, I've wanted to be in the solar world for a long time, but I was always somewhat resistant to be in that side of the business, even though I saw a huge opportunity
Yeah,
because there's a high demand for it, and
yeah,
obviously we're out replacing roofs all the time. It'd be a real easy thing. I thought, hey, we could just add that to our proposals just as an additional offering for those that were interested. But the thing that scared me the most was where are these panels manufactured? The vast majority of them are manufactured in China. They're brought over here, and there's so many different companies that make them. There's so many different types, and there's just a lot of unknown on all of that. And then you factor in the liability of having to have you'd have to partner with an electrician that does this regularly. That you would have to trust that they knew what they were doing, because ultimately you're on the contract. Even though you may be subcontracting to an electrician, you're still on the contract
yeah,
to do
exactly.
that. And that was the thing that was most appealing to me about the GAF solar shingle and why I wanted to be such a part of it. Number one, we've been a master elite for years. We've been a very uh, productive master elite for GAF. I feel like we're a good partner for them, but they've also been very good to us. And they're a company that I trust to have our back. Right. So if they're putting their name on something
They
and they're
do a
doing it,
damn good job, dude.
they do. They
They do
do,
an
man.
awesome job with the warranty, I'll tell you.
They do. Their warranties are second to none.
Shout out GAF. You guys are doing a damn
Yeah.
good job out there.
Always, man. Always. And they're a little more selective on who they partner with than some of the other manufacturers out there, in my opinion, at least in
Yeah.
my market. Um, so when they came out with this product, it was something that I definitely wanted to be a part of. And fortunately, when the product came out, they were fairly selective on who they partnered with in the initial run of it, because and like anything that's new, you have to come out with it and kind of build on it, and you don't want to
Right.
come out too much too soon, right? Because there's a learning process for everybody.
Yeah.
So they were fairly selective with the contractors that they partnered with, and we were honored to be one of them that were able to be selected to get in the first go. There's quite a few guys I think now that are eligible to sell it. There was some investment involved in some of that with some people,
Okay.
but overall we were grateful to be a part of it. I'd looked into the Tesla back when it first came out, and that seemed really cool and exciting too. I mean, I know we all know when that first video dropped, the
Right.
first Tesla
Everybody was
roof.
like,
Oh,
register.
dude.
Everyone. I know
Yes,
everyone
yes.
registered on the cell phone. It was all on Facebook.
Yeah,
Facebook campaign.
and I've been around a long time, man, and I've still got relationships at places.
Facebook campaign.
Facebook campaign.
That's what the Tesla was all about.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I mean, when that video came out, I'd have people just text me, "Hey, have you seen this? I mean, this looks
Yeah.
so cool and sexy," and it did. But the
It
reality,
is though.
it still is. But man, there's still a lot of
So is
bugs.
GAF though. Like if you're gonna rate look, here this is very easy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break this down. You got a Rolls Royce
Mm-hmm.
and you have a Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
They're still very, very expensive cars.
Yeah.
One of them, if customized, could be absolutely fucking ridiculous. Both of them could.
Yeah.
But the Rolls takes the fucking cake. You could do just about anything with the Rolls.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got Tesla Energy as the Rolls, right? GAF as Ferrari. That's how I see it, because it's a performance deal. You cannot get Tesla to come out within a year. it's not happening.
Well, and my personal opinion is that there's other reasons for that.
Yeah.
As big a Tesla fan as I am in their company and in their cars and what they do, Tesla is a solar company
Yeah.
that decided to get into roofing.
Yes.
GAF is a roofing manufacturer that decided to get into solar.
Ooh, that's nice.
So when I'm as a
I
roofer,
like the sound of that.
their product is designed for roofers. Tesla's product was, hey, we're going to make this product, but they didn't really know much about roofing. And anybody that's really dove into that product, it's an incredibly cumbersome.
It's a pain in the ass, dude. I'm actually gonna be going to the Gigafactory to go get trained here pretty soon.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
and
super cool. It's
I just want
super
to be.
sexy.
I just want.
but,
I want to be able to knowledgeably speak about this
yeah,
because I can't tell you how many times solars came up on this broadcast.
Yeah.
It might as well be solar on the rise. Good God, I'm telling you, I have talked about solar almost every single broadcast.
yeah.
I think that it's where we're going. I think that people owning their energy is a good thing, and people are starting to understand it more. It wasn't not understood.
That would absolutely, and I don't know about many of the other viewers, but I know just personal experience living in Texas, right? We have some of the least expensive energy costs of anywhere in the country,
Yeah,
right?
that is
And
true.
but even having
Still sucks.
that low of energy cost, I know my energy almost doubled over the last couple of years, right? So
Yeah.
we've had a lot of increase in our energy, and that's for the first time in a while. It's starting to make a little bit of monetary sense to do it. When you think about other places in the country where solar is so much more prominent, their energy cost is triple what ours is. So that payback is a third of what our payback is, right? So as our energy cost increase in Texas, the more and more it makes sense. And we've already increased enough to where now, when you really look at the numbers, my templates where I do my proposals, I show them their return.
Yeah.
GAF shows what the expected return is and even what the guaranteed return is on their systems. So I can monetize that into what they're paying per kilowatt hour
So
and
basically, you can tell them when they're going to completely own
break
that
even.
system, right?
Show them exactly when they're going to break even. And I can also show them over the 25-year life and guarantee rate, right? It's not only the expected life, but GAF actually guarantees a certain amount of energy output over 25 years. We can monetize that by the amount they pay per kilowatt and show them that, hey, this is when you're going to break even, and this is what your profit is on investment over the 25-year period.
What about financing? Who finances this?
Financing is a big challenge these days. A year ago it was a piece of cake, right? But as as interest rates have steadily increased, the cost to offer really low interest rates have gone up considerably. And for people that don't know, I mean, these rack mounted solar companies out there that are offering no interest or 2% interest or really low 4 or 5% interest rates. I mean, even when we first came out with this GAF product, we had a pretty good negotiated rate, I think it was 5.95%, which
that was kind of the going rate
which
for the
which sounds great now, but we were competing against rack mounted companies that were given no interest or 1%, 2%.
Right.
Now they're at the 5 or 6%. We're at like 10, but we can buy down those rates. But you realize that if you're going to try to offer that low of a rate, you're having to eat a dealer fee sometimes as high as 35%, which means for for a $100,000 purchase, right? You're going to get $65,000 after the finance company takes their cut, which almost makes it priced out of reality for most people to be able to afford that, right?
No shit.
So the majority of the well, I wouldn't say the majority, all of the jobs that I've sold have been cash. People are paying for it.
Okay, that's where I was going because when you look at this is a big thing. Growing concern, tax liability.
Yep.
So we've talked about this quite a few times. If you're following along, especially you solar boys, please chime in. Oh, the comments are popping right now. I need to
we could read those better. So
I know.
we could
You know, what'd be
respond to 'em.
cool is if we could pop them up back there. whenever I am like really good and great and professional, like Joe Rogan and all those guys, like I'll figure it out. But like I'm doing a lot of shit. Anyway, you guys pay attention because this right here is golden nuggets. We're talking about the real shit, tax liability. Let's go. So you got different kinds of tax liability.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say you got an older lady, fixed income.
Mm-hmm.
Her tax liability is going to be a lot different than, say, couple 35 kids at the house.
Yep.
So,
Well, and depending on the earning ability of that couple, that makes a big deal too, right? And
okay, two income streams,
well, and
good income.
and to cut to the chase, right? The big, I guess, incentive of doing any of this is with some of the new bills that were passed. We're now up to a 30% federal tax credit.
Yeah,
That's been extended over the next 10 years. So that's going to be
Right.
around for a while. Which one of the cool things about this product, and again, talk to your CPA. I'm not giving tax advice here,
CPA.
but
Drop in the comments.
the GAF system requires all of the asphalt components to be able to do it. You can't go use the regular HDZ with the energy producing shingles. Therefore, it's required to buy all of those other components to be able to generate the solar.
Oh shit. Okay, let's talk about that. And also, let's go ahead and show this solar panel to everyone. And you guys, you bear with us for a second.
And it's actually it's not a panel, it's a shingle. This is actually a roofing product. This is not a solar product, it's a roofing product that just happens to generate energy.
So there is a nail line. Could you show us that?
If you can't see it, it's obviously right there. I mean, this
Like
is a
right here.
this is a shingle. It installs just like a shingle. It nails on. You know, you've got your wiring, which you can't see in the screen here, but yes. So this right here, I mean, obviously racks together. You have your wiring that wires together here. Then it feeds inside the attic where their electricians come in and connect all of that and run that into through the attic and down into the electric meter. So that's how all that gets.
Dude, this is pretty cool. So this is it right here.
This is it. This is a full size shingle. This isn't just the sample. This is it.
This feels like TPO.
Well, I am under the understanding that that's what it is. This is a TPO product that's been integrated with the actual solar glass built into it.
Look how thin that is, ladies and gentlemen.
It when you should see it on a roof. I mean, it is the same profile as the shingles themselves. I mean, that is the best thing about it, right? I mean, even outside of the monetary cost, right? Just from a pure aesthetic standpoint and a function standpoint, when you're doing rack mounted solar into shingles, you've got all the vulnerabilities, liabilities. You've got the stuff underneath the panels where you've got to be concerned about making sure there's guards to keep rodents out, etc.
There's none of that.
This is the roof, right? So it's flat, it's flush, it's
how does it adhere?
How does it adhere?
Is that a peel and stick on the bottom?
It does. It does have a peel and stick that that sticks it together, that flushes it down.
Ladies and gentlemen, peel and stick.
It's actually recently got its rating and testing. I mean, we've got one on the island that we're looking to close in the next week. It'll be the first one on the island, so it's actually TDI approved now.
What?
So yeah, this stuff's legit, man.
Please take me out there.
Oh, be my pleasure.
That is fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like an awesome pleasure to be able to bring this to you guys because this is the only solar shingle on the market, right?
Well, there are others out there, but this is the only one.
Oh wait, Certainty just came out with one, didn't they?
They have one, but to my knowledge, this is the only one rated as a shingle, as a roofing product.
So this is the only actual shingle
roofing product that has energy
Tesla's
generating capability.
Completely different. It is
to my knowledge, all of that is those are rated as energy solar products. This is the only one rated as a roofing product.
As a roofing product.
Nailable solar
Ladies and gentlemen, GAF shingle, not a solar panel.
Yeah, Timberline Solar.
Timberline Solar.
Yep.
There is they're just like Timberline Solar. It rolls off the tongue nice.
Well, it's been branded well, obviously.
No shit.
Yeah.
So, okay. Tell me about Tell me about the wiring. Did we talk about wiring yet?
Yeah, we talked a little about the wiring, just how it connects. I mean, for the most part, it just tethers together going up the arrays,
Okay.
and then it comes into the attic. And again,
For the okay, so let's break it down cellular.
Yeah.
What's an array?
Well, an array is just a cluster of energy producing shingles.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So,
So for each array, there's going to be a line, right?
mhm.
And there's what is there something that covers that?
Yeah, there's a coping cap that goes over,
Okay.
because it actually racks. Unlike shingles where we, stagger,
Yeah.
the energy producing shingles are racked, but they're flashed almost. You would flash it the same way that you would flash a sidewall. It comes with
Ooh.
its own flashing that
Okay.
that flashes into it. Um, I obviously I had the same concerns that anybody would of, oh, how it's racked, how's that going to work? But the flashing is pretty legit the way that it works. The other thing that's really cool is that GAF is manufacturing similar to the old Grande, except it doesn't have the headlap. It's actually made like a normal HDZ shingle. It's just got a bigger exposure, right? It's a little bit bigger shingle.
Okay.
So they're making the Timberline Solar shingles. These are the energy producing shingles are the Timberline Solar ES shingles, which are the energy producing shingles.
Okay.
But you have to install them with the Timberline Solar shingles that have the same exposure as what these energy shingles do.
You can't just put on a HDZ.
No, you don't put these with HDZ because it wouldn't line up right.
You guys take
that's
some
and
freaking notes if you guys are interested, because I know a lot of you guys are interested in this.
and we hinted at this a while ago, right? But part of what makes this more appealing is that the entire roofing system, again, in my opinion, I'm not a CPA, but because all of the other components are required to install these energy shingles, you can't just put a normal shingle on it. It makes the entire roofing system a solar purchase, not just the energy producing shingles a solar purchase. Why that matters is if you're installing solar panels, only the solar panels are subject to the tax credit, whereas the
Holy
entire
shit.
system is subject to the tax credit because it takes the entire system to be able to put on the energy shingles.
Holy shit.
Again, talk to your accountant, but that's the way that I have been explained by my accountant, and that's the way I understand it.
So when you sit down and you talk to these clients,
Yeah.
Do you tell them to talk to their tax professional?
Of course. I mean, I give them my understanding and my perspective, but man, I'm not qualified to give tax advice.
Yeah.
That's something that's always going to be encouraged. Anytime you're making a tax based decision, you got to talk to your CPA.
So I'm going to make a brief pause.
Let's do it.
Because we're in an awesome environment right now. Tell us a little bit about this place, man.
Oh, dude. So this has been a long time coming. The room that we're in right now, we're in my home. So the room that we're in was originally kind of a media room that when my kids were younger, we would hang out in here and watch movies or play video games or whatever. And as they've gotten older, all my kids are teenagers now. The need to be in this room is reduced a little bit. And,
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to be able to capture something for myself. You get different man caves or whatever, but some of my strong interests are in bourbon. I'm a big bourbon lover. I still like good scotch.
Okay.
I like cigars.
Okay.
So I kind of created
We
what
got
I
a couple
feel
of
like.
those today.
Yeah, kind of the ultimate man room here, and as you can see behind us, it's set up like a pretty cool bar. We've got some badass shelving in here, and some pretty cool decor that you guys can't even see. But yeah, this is my my whiskey and cigar room.
Man, this is it's so picturesque in here. It's ridiculous.
It's pretty serene if you're a dude and you like this kind of shit, man, because I can come in here and just sit and relax. I mean, I just immediately just like chill as soon as I come in here, but
it's a reset.
Obviously when you pour your glass of, if you're a brown water guy, get a little glass of brown water.
Yeah.
Man, it sets things straight.
Dude, this is legit. I mean, you got the humidor over here.
Yeah, I've got a full cabinet, man, and I've got tons of great cigars.
A lot of them. And I'm not like, I just kind of started stepping into it. Like, golfing's a big thing, especially in business. And I started doing that almost 2 years ago now. And that came with cigars.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just kind of started taking it up, and I smoked like acid cigars up in Connecticut. I got turned on by a good friend of mine up there, and it's just not the same as a good Cuban.
Absolutely.
And so like my first Cuban was with a friend of mine down off of Greens Road actually. And man, it was an amazing experience. And whenever I tasted that cigar, it it just took me back like every awesome memory I ever had with my grandpa. Like it just was like I don't know what it was about.
Mhm.
And so now that taste is synonymous with great feelings.
Mhm.
And so I enjoy me a good cigar every now and then now. So starting to be a little my mentor, if you're watching this, I understand on the tobacco thing, but give me a little while. I stopped drinking. Just got the Coca-Cola. That's it. Um, this is gonna be my pastime for a little while. That and golfing. You
Yep.
golf?
I do golf.
Okay, damn, we haven't.
I'm way better at bourbon drinking than I am swinging a club, but
Oh, dude, we'll be on point together then.
I do love to play. I'm,
You
I'm good. I'm good. One shot ever, about every 15 or 20, I'll look like I'm a pro. But the other 19, I very much show my amateur-esque.
and I went golfing yesterday, and we went to Black Horse, and it
Okay.
was clogged up, dude.
Oh man,
It was nasty. We got off the course
I've been in
quick.
some tournaments out there that are pretty nasty.
That's what it.
I'm
That's
sure.
what.
I'm
That's
sure.
what
I'm
they're
sure any
doing.
of the Harka guys out here have been in some of those Harka tournaments that
Shout out to Harka.
knows how nasty those backups can be. But
We're dropping some pretty big news here pretty soon. We got a good speaker coming down for Lunch and Learn. I'm really excited about that. We had a marketing committee this last week, talked about the talking points and
okay,
what's going on. I'm excited to be able to announce some pretty big news.
very cool.
Not right now, but if you know, you know. If you've been paying attention, I've dropped it a couple of times at the very end of the podcast because nobody's really watching to the end.
I know what's up, but I'm not going to reveal it right now.
I think it's an awesome thing. I'm really excited about it, and really what I'm passionate about right now is the change in the industry, innovations, and content. Like that's where I'm at right now. Super late focused. Um, tell me about your the way in which that you do business because we can talk about solar all day. We could talk about whiskey all day. We could talk about golf all day. What I really want to do is pick your brain a little bit about your business
Yeah.
and how you do business. Where are you located?
Yeah. Well, I'm in the Woodlands.
Okay.
I've been in the same area since I started, right? And
No shit.
yeah, and kind of
That's good. That's good for branding.
well, it's been phenomenal for branding.
Yeah.
And most guys that know me know that I'm pretty well established
Yeah.
up in the market that I'm in. And when you talk about marketing and advertising, it was easier for me to spend the money that you need to spend, but do it in a hyper local focused area where, you know, I can't be gallery furniture for Houston, right? But my goal was to try to be gallery furniture for the area that I'm in, which is in the Woodlands and surrounding area. So when I
Shit.
spend money,
Okay.
and I do spend money, I spend quite a bit of money
Yeah.
in marketing and advertising, but most of the money I spend is all hyper local. I don't really want to spend money if it's trying to reach outside the 15-mile radius of where I'm at, because it's so much easier to saturate your market again, and again with that kind of mindset rather than trying to broadcast to the masses,
What
which are
about
just we're just going to get filtered out, right? I mean, there's so many guys chasing that same business, number one, and it's also crazy expensive when you're trying to market to a city like we live in that has, when you get outside into the suburbs and surrounding areas, you're talking 10, 11 million people. It's just crazy
besides of
expensive to market to
Houston,
that.
it's Connecticut. So if you were to if you were to overlay Connecticut onto the Houston and surrounding suburbs, like you said, that are all considered Houston,
Yep.
you could fit that in the city in the state of Connecticut.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So a whole ass state right here in the city of Houston. Shout out to all you business owners in Houston. I know that a lot of you guys that are watching, you're trying to do good. You're trying to do better, and you're trying to go for change. And that's what this broadcast is all about.
Yeah.
So don't ever take anything here that you're listening to as you're doing the wrong thing, but that be encouraged to learn from like-minded individuals and grow.
Yep.
That's what synergy is all about. And that's what this broadcast is all about.
Yeah.
Helping people grow. So hyper locality.
Mm-hmm.
That's your main jam.
Well, hyper locality, and then also just this idea. I mean, when you think about, this is not a new concept, right? But
Right.
any kind of sales, you have two different approaches, right? You've got farming and hunting.
Oh,
When you start out, right, you have to be a hunter, because
Yeah.
otherwise you'll starve to death waiting for your crop to grow as a farmer.
right.
But if all you do is hunt, all you'll ever be is a hunter, because you're not planting the right seeds to cultivate a crop that's going to be able to bring business to you later.
Holy shit.
I mean, that's not a new concept,
No,
right?
it's not.
It's not a
But
new concept.
that is fucking fire, dude.
But that's what I've been about, what my businesses have been about, and that's why we've been able to establish such a successful presence for so long. I've been in business for
So are you a hunter or a
21
farmer?
years. Now I'm 100% farmer. I've been 100% farmer since the first couple of years, right?
Shit.
But that's the idea, right? Is like, you have to hunt to eat. But if you're not farming with that hunting, all you're ever going to be is a hunter.
Do you have any hunters that work for you?
I do have hunters that work for me. New blood is hunters, but for the most
But the
part,
majority of your
guys,
business is farmers,
man,
and you teach them to be farmers.
well, that's because I created the Blue Bell policy, right?
Let's go.
When you build a business the way that I've built the business, the organic leads that come in becomes more than what
Thank you.
an individual person can handle, right?
Yep.
So I handle all I can and I give out the rest. And all the guys that work in my organization, we're predominantly leads, either leads from the office.
You wait. Did you just say that you give away lead? That means you're working leads.
Absolutely.
That means you're selling jobs.
I'm still selling jobs. I sell quite a bit of jobs.
Oh fuck. Okay. Do you?
You know, and again, like with that mindset, right?
That's good shit, dude.
Why am I going to serve in a role that I could pay somebody to do for me, that's going to cost me way less than what I'm going to generate in revenue going out and doing what I do best?
So, would you say that you're a visionary or an integrator?
I would say probably a combination of both.
A little bit of both.
Yeah, a little bit of
I
both.
think you got to be a CEO.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have processes, you have systems, right?
I do, yeah. And it's all been done through trial and error and experience, man. I've been doing this a while, and I've
No
been
magic sauce.
been very successful at it. And I know what works for me, and I've implemented those systems to make it real easy for the people that are involved in my organization to be able to plug and play into the recipe that works.
Do you go to conferences?
I do. That's one thing. You can't get complacent, right? I mean, number one, you always have to be growing and learning.
Yeah.
Because the second you think you've got it all figured out, that's when you're going to start becoming stagnant or even recessing a little
I like
bit.
that. Yeah.
But also, I'm at a place in my life and my career where I realize, you know what? I'm at that place where I'm starting to have to give back. So I go to these conferences, not necessarily to gain. I still gain. No matter what, when you participate in these, you're going to gain. But I also have a lot to give and a lot to share.
So,
which increases the quality of my industry, right? Which is ultimately a good thing for me.
So, I like that, because not everybody thinks about giving back to the industry.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are takers, and it's okay to be a taker, but you also need to be a giver too. Like you gotta learn how to figure that out and how to navigate that. So let's talk a little bit more about conferences, right?
Yeah.
Because like that's a passion of mine. I love conferences. I love networking. About to do a networking event with Christian Scott. Shout out to Christian Scott and Networking Houston. Gonna be doing that on the 25th at Rowdy's in Spring. You guys pay attention to the flyer drop here the next couple of days. Pretty excited about that.
Rowdy's, is that the old Big Texas?
I think so. May 25th.
Nice.
Andrew Hernandez owns that.
Okay.
Shout out to Andrew Hernandez.
All right.
Alpha Elite Construction.
Cool.
You know who that is?
I don't.
You don't?
Need to beat him.
Oh yeah, you need to meet that guy.
All right.
Yeah. You part of Apex?
No, I'm not.
Oh, bro. That's something I'm looking at right now.
Okay.
Apex, Ryan Stewman. Oh my gosh. It's like it's more about connections than it is about like buying some secret sauce.
Oh, of course.
You know what I mean? Like, fuck the
Yeah,
secret sauce. There is no fucking secret sauce. It's about connections. It's about networking. It's who you know is how you're gonna fucking succeed in this world.
That is it. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, whether you're in roofing or whether you're in real estate or whatever, right? You can know all the information you want to know, but the difference between run of the mill and being able to shoot, everybody needs help in this world, right? And it's all a word of mouth game. Who knows who? And the old saying is true, man. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And you never know when you're going to meet somebody that introduces you to somebody else, that becomes the next opportunity for you to take it to the next level, or gives you an opportunity to be able to do a project that was maybe outside of your realm before, right? But you you can't know too many people, right? Because
Oh yeah.
it's a word of mouth business. It's a word of mouth business. It always has been. You do all these other things to help support your business, which is important, but ultimately, who knows who, and who you know matters.
You say that has a lot to do with how you're hyper focused in your locality.
A lot of it does, yeah. I mean, and oddly enough, man, I'd love to take credit of, hey, I picked this place because of the demographic, but
Uh-huh.
I picked the place that I started business in because
Right.
it was close to where I grew up. I grew up in East Texas,
Yeah.
near Tyler. Athens, Texas is where I grew up,
Okay.
and I wanted to be on the north side of town because I didn't want to fight all of Houston traffic to be able to go home and see my family.
Uh,
And little did I know, I picked one of the best demographic places to be able to root my business, which is
it's a nice spot.
paid
Like
tenfold.
before I
Yeah,
even knew you, I knew of you. I've seen you
yeah.
on Facebook. I had you friends on Facebook. I built a roof down the road from your office, but it's like 6 miles down the road, right? And what I noticed is once I got away from that 6 mile area, which your signs were still they were there as well, by the way. Um, I just kept seeing signs and more signs. So before I seen your office, I must have seen your brand
Yeah.
half a dozen, maybe even a dozen times. And then I seen your office, and then I was like, "Oh shit!" Holy! And then here's what I thought was, "How the fuck am I roofing this house over here?" I couldn't even understand it,
Mhm.
right? Because you're right fucking there. I don't know. I had a lot of problems with that job. That's probably why. So I would have walked away from that job. Anyway, uh, your guys have done an amazing job at grassroots, and you have done an amazing job at teaching them to do what they're doing because they are everywhere. I live in the Woodlands. I see your brand all the time.
Mhm.
And so I was talking to my wife about this because she even asked me, who is this?
Yeah.
Because she's seen your signs a few
Well, good.
times. And I'm just
We're
like,
doing
that's
something right.
Justin.
Yeah.
That's Justin, bro. Um your logo
Mhm.
is catchy as fuck, dude. Did you ever go through a rebranding? Did you start like that? Or
The majority part of the logo is original,
okay.
but we did do a slight tweak and we kind of changed some of the lettering. The fonting in the original logo was a little dated. It was a little Windows 98. But
Oh, okay.
we kind of tweaked that a few years back and just kind of helped dial it in. But we still like the house. We like the
I
house.
like
That's
that.
what we're protecting.
Yeah.
It's cool that we've got the F and the C and the R all there together. It kind of reinforces that. And again, time matters, right?
Yeah.
When you've been branding the same thing, doing the same thing for 20 plus years, you've got to stick with that because it becomes familiar.
Shit, 20 plus years.
Yeah, 20,
You've been around for 20 plus years.
21 years this year that we started our company.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man. Yeah, and the average life of a roofer's 3.
2 to 3, man.
So we're in a multiple
Mine
of 7
lasted
now.
2, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
And I
it
was just trying to
happens.
honestly, dude, I did a great job, but I failed in the aspect of learning how to say no. I was just too young. You know, I'm 30 now, and I've owned a couple businesses, so I didn't know exactly how to say no at that period of time in my life, and I also didn't know how to speak to people with any kind of money more than what I could concept past myself.
Yeah.
So like past blue collar, couldn't get it.
Yeah.
Couldn't even guy driving the Lambo couldn't figure it out. And my old business partner lives down the road. Man, he for some reason I watched this guy walk up to this dude drove up in a Lamborghini, and it was sweet. We're at the bar, right? And I mean, he's got this hot model with him, and we're all like, dude, this dude is fucking loaded, right? Like we all knew it. And my old business partner walked over to him, started talking to him, and he said, like, obviously you could see the guy, and he just like motions to him, has him sit down in the fucking car and goes parks it for him.
Nice.
Never fucking met the guy in his life. Went and parked his fucking Lambo. And then my brain was moving because I'm thinking, holy shit, he could fucking talk to anyone, which means he can fucking sell or he could solve their problem. And it was a very, very awesome lesson that I learned from him. He said, listen, it doesn't matter what they look like or what they've got. You talk to them the same because ultimately that's all they want.
Yeah.
They want to be talked to like everyone else. They're a fucking person. Yep. And so you go up to them and you talk to them like I just did. You could park their car, or you could probably take that motherfucker down the road if you wanted to and come back, and you never know. Yeah. And ultimately, it's all about what you make that person feel.
Yeah, and about your confidence of knowing who you are and what you are and what you're about, and realizing that you're bringing value to that person regardless of who they are, or what they have, or how much they make.
Yes.
Because and it's no different than life with men and women or whatever else, right?
Yes.
If you feel like a supermodel is beyond you and you're too nervous to approach them, obviously they're never going to give you the time of day. But the same concept is true, right?
Yes.
They want to be talked to like a normal person, and if you're confident in who you are, not saying that you're qualified to be with that person, but at the same time, it's the same concept. If you're insecure or you're uncertain about your ability to go up and talk to somebody, it's going to reek in your body language that you're nervous or that you're not feeling good about that, right?
Yep.
And you're either 100% confident in who you are and what you're about and what you're saying, or you're not. And that message is the same message regardless if you're talking to a blue collar client or a multi-million-dollar client or whoever.
You know what's crazy is the guy that jumped out of the Lambo was dressed so down compared to the guy that drove the fucking truck, right? Which doesn't matter who has more money, right? But in the aspect of the world, you think, okay, well, the dude with the Lambo's got millions of dollars and the guy with the truck doesn't, right? That fucking dichotomy is retarded. Because you never know.
Or may not even be true.
Because you never know. Because you never know.
Right.
I have met people driving a broke down Jeep, dude, that, man, they had the most money that I've ever heard in the world. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? No fucking way. Oh, yeah. Abso-fucking-lutely. Look me up. Wait. Okay. Because, you know, everybody's got their phone in their hands now. So it's like, holy shit. Well, what are you doing?
You never know what's important to people, man. What makes people fired up, right? Some people are fired up about different things.
Exactly.
Right? And there's no exact answer, right? But the key to all of this is who we are, right? Because if you're the same person and you're the same confident person and your same message and all of that stuff's consistent, it doesn't matter who the hell you're talking to.
Nope.
Because that's going to come across and that's going to resonate with them, that you're going to be the attractive person. Like, dude, there's something about this guy that I want to be a part of.
Yes. That's man, honestly, Houston's fucking built different, bro. like completely. When I came to Houston from Central Texas, it was like night and day. Central Texas to here is it's absolutely night and day. So whenever you drive down the road in like Waco, you got to drive to a certain area to go to, let's just say, like Champions Forest, right? Or the Woodlands.
Yep.
There's a certain demographic there. So, whereas it comes to like size of roofs, right? We always are chasing the whales, 70 plus squares, right? And to do that, you have to be in certain areas in a place like Waco. But here, you can be fucking anywhere because it's fluent.
The whole city, for
the
the
whole
most part,
city
has
some money.
neighborhoods like that, right?
Yes, and that's what I like about this area because it's a land of opportunity.
Yeah,
It's the land of milk and honey.
And you can also have a 70 square roof that's a $400,000 house, or you can have a 70 square roof that's a $4 million house, depending on where you're at.
Yeah, that's the money. That's the kicker here. So I was taught whenever I came down here, finally, how to really understand how to talk to people with money. Really wasn't with money. It was just understanding how to talk to people in general and understand the culture of the sale as well as the culture of the industry and how to put it together. So tell me a little bit about when you became an entrepreneur. Did you have some of the same battles? When did you learn how to really talk to people?
You know, my background, like I said, I grew up in East Texas.
Yeah.
My family is in the garbage business, independent garbage business in East Texas.
Oh yeah.
So from the time I was 12 years old, I was working on a garbage truck, picking up people's garbage. My weekend side money was getting in the back of the truck and cleaning out. They'd run the packer all the way back to the end, and I'd get up and scoop out the sludge
Oh no, man.
with a dustpan and put that into the trash can and make an extra $20, right? So, number one, I came from pretty low end roots, right?
Okay.
For what, what your time is worth, what money's worth, etc., right? But part of what was embedded into me as a young man, my grandfather who started that business, when I would ride along with him as a young man, young teenager, if he saw somebody out in the yard that wasn't a client of our garbage business, he'd pull the truck over and go up and talk to him, find out why. What are you doing with your garbage? You burning your garbage? You taking it to work? What are you doing?
Did he own that truck? Did he own the company?
He owned the company, and he's like, what are you doing? Well, this is what we charge per month. We'd love to have you as a client. And from the time I was 13, 14 years old, I witnessed that because I spent all my time with my grandfather, for the most part when I was in the summers, that sort of thing. So
holy crap.
He molded me into that mindset. So when my direction, when I got out of school, I was going to college too, but I was supposed to be the guy that took over my grandfather's business. He had put my mother in the business. He had built his business, sold half of it 3 different times. And I was supposed to be the last guy that took over his business. And when he retired, and I got into this industry, right? And part of that immediately applied what I had already learned because even as I got into this business when I was 19 years old.
Yeah.
And for me, being in that other situation where I'm driving a garbage truck, wearing a pair of overalls and a wife beater, which is what,
right,
an East Texas kid hauling garbage would wear.
Right.
To be comfortable enough to approach somebody that also might have lived in a 70 square house to talk to them about their garbage, to be able to dress nice and not smell like garbage and go up and talk to somebody, my confidence was already tenfold of what it would have been.
Dude.
So this was freaking candy from a baby for me.
Yeah, no shit. I mean, you walking up to a house, you don't smell like shit.
No shit. I mean, at 19, I was within 2 months, I was a top salesperson for the company that I worked for.
Oh my gosh. My background, I didn't so I didn't have really a father in my life. I didn't have a grandfather, but it was kind of a distant single parent. My mom did the best she could. And I had to go out. I started business at 13. So I had my own landscaping business at the age of 13. I was going door to door, doing landscaping. And I did landscaping for, the small house that looked like it was dilapidated type deal
Mm-hmm.
to the large mansions, nice commercial businesses, Starbucks, you pack and ships type stuff. From 13 to about 16, I had to figure out how to talk to people. No one taught me. So it took until 20 to find a mentor to figure it out. So I see people like you super successful. And I wonder where the sauce came from. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because you have an amazing, very well oiled organization. And it's always good to see the other side of that, to where, because a lot of people, they think that you get from that 1 to 3 million status to the 4 to 12 million status overnight and without changing processes, and then from that 12 to 20 like it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that shit does not happen like that.
No, it doesn't. And not only do you have to change that, but be consistent at it, right? Because how many guys
Consistency.
do we know that go from one to the next and they're back to where they started the next year because they were a pop rocket?
No shit.
If you don't
So you
do things the right way, you effectively are a pop rocket.
wow. So okay. Whereas it comes to processes for your sales organizations. Now I don't want you to like uncover the entire onion, just like the outside shell of the onion, you know what I mean?
Yeah, PG-13 version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us know, like, how do you do when somebody hires on, what's it look like?
Well, for the most part, I mean, we
Because you're a farmer, this shit's different.
it is different, right?
Right.
But part of it too is when we bring somebody on, like number one, I'm not like most guys that are in the storm business where in a storm business there's so much low hanging fruit. You bring as many guys on as you can because
Right.
any blind squirrel can find a nut when there's nuts laying all over the field, right?
That's fucking great.
Well, we know that, right?
Yes.
But the majority of my staff, it's been quality over quantity,
Mm.
number one. And but there are opportunities when we bring new guys, fresh faces in, but there's a certain element of being taught what I knew in the beginning, what I had to do in the beginning. Because when I started, there was not a process, there was not a system that just said, hey, here's your appointments every day. You got to go out and generate it. Or B, you've got these appointments that are set for you. What are you going to do with the people around them? How are you going to be able to?
Oh shit! How are you going to be a good steward of that?
Right?
Is that what you're saying?
How do you take the spoon fed stuff and turn that into a feast?
Oh shit! Okay, so
Right?
you're telling me that when they come on, you're trying to go into a cellular aspect of the sale,
Yeah, yeah. I
grassroots,
mean, dude, we get into everything of it, right? We teach you about all of our processes. We teach you about everything that we're about.
GAF, obviously.
Well, yeah, GAF's
Pretty big deal, right?
GAF's a big part of it, but
Yeah.
I would also say that who we are is a bigger part of it,
Yeah. Oh, well, of course.
right? But we have a very good system about how we go about. But because of our business model, the majority of our business comes from a cycle that starts with a phone call, not a door knock. However, there's also the implication of, hey, if our cycle is this door knock and this appointment, or I'm sorry, the cycle is this appointment that you go out and you do, this is our bidding process, this is our templates, etc.
Right.
But the difference between average, making a decent income, and making an exceptional income is taking that and how do you build on it? How do you incorporate the things that I did and that we did in the grassroots setting that created this initial appointment to begin with?
Because when you think about it, you're only as good as, okay, and a salesman in this industry, 1099,
Mhm.
commission only.
Yeah.
you're only as good as what you're putting in,
Yep.
and you're only going to get bank if you are putting in bank.
That's right. That's right.
You reap what you sow.
Again, it's do you have the short term mindedness of, hey, I'm in and I'm out, or do you have the long term mindedness so that I'm building a brand, I'm building a company, I'm building a career?
Contractors, pay attention, because this is a 20 plus year vet in the industry spitting some fucking golden nuggets about how you truly brand yourself the right way. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, no, and the key to all of it's referrals.
Right.
I mean, even and that's easy
So
to
you
say,
have
right?
them. You work the referrals.
That's no secret sauce to be able
No.
to say referrals, right?
No, well, okay, so there is, like, I mean, shout out to Matthew Danskin referral network with, I can't remember your entire brand, but he deals with referrals with insurance agents.
Yep.
You just showed me a commercial that you play
Yeah.
with an insurance agent.
It's
That
it's
is
a testimonial, yeah, with
a
an insurance agent,
testimonial.
yeah.
That's money.
Yep.
Okay, so that's
So and
it's fucking gold.
obviously
Referrals.
when you do referrals are key too, but you also have to be willing to spend a little bit of money,
Right.
right? Advertising costs money. You can't just expect to live on 100%, organic referrals. I
How
mean,
much you
you
spend?
can. Dude, my advertising budget last year was almost 6 figures for the year.
What?
Yeah,
100 bands, bro.
pretty close.
God damn, dude.
Yep.
Holy shit.
But you're doing the amount of business that justifies being able to spend that.
Right.
But that also is indicative. And here's the thing: everything else that we're talking about,
That's like buying your seed, though.
it is.
That's like one part of the process.
But you know what the real secret sauce of everything is? Is the fucking product.
Ooh.
Because you can do all of that, and you got a
So
shitty.
that's you've hit the 2 P's out of the 3 is selling.
Yeah.
People, product. What's the last one? Price. Price doesn't fucking matter if you've got a good person and a good product.
Yeah, I mean, the price always matters, but you're allowed to sell at a better price when the other two are at a top
Right.
tier, right? So
Yeah.
all of that comes together, and all of that is so important, right?
So let's talk about your culture.
Yeah.
Your commission.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever changed your commission structure?
Yes,
Okay.
but not in the middle of a deal. Like we used to when I first started my company, our commission structure was based on a retail price.
Okay.
And we did that for the first several years, and we realized, you know what? Especially as you transition from insurance into retail, right? Which
Right.
I would say that my business, unless we have just a good local storm, is well more than 50% retail.
Yeah.
I also do custom home new construction.
Okay. That's
right?
a completely different way of getting paid too.
It is, but I believe in casting your net as far and wide as you can because you're only going to catch more fish, right?
Yeah.
But the one thing that all of it's all about is profit.
Yeah.
Right. So one may be more profitable than the other, but they all generate profit in their own way. So our commission structure is now based on profit. We changed that a long time ago because depending on the circumstance or the situation, some jobs are going to be more profitable than others. But rather than working off the retail, everything that we do is based on profit, because if you do a job that's not profitable, we're not getting paid. You're not getting paid either. Right. So
what's your average tenure?
Average tenure?
Yeah.
For my guys?
Yes. Sales reps.
Oh man, most of them 5+ years, close to 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got several people that are more than 10 years there.
Really?
Yeah, I've got some other groups that are in.
Because we're talking about culture here,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So I kind of tricked you. I kind of went around the bush to ask the question because I wanted to see exactly where your mind was with this, because the average tenure is going to tell me what you're doing and if they're happy.
Yeah, of course.
Because if they're not happy, they're leaving.
Yep.
And that happens a lot in this industry.
It does.
So that's why I asked those questions in the way that I did. So you have a longer than average tenure at your company. And you know what's interesting is companies that are in business longer, like yourself, seem to have longer tenures.
Yeah.
I was talking to a friend of mine, Travis Diekman. Shout out to M&M Roofing. They have branch here in Houston and in San Antonio. They've been in business for 20, 30 years, something like that. And same thing, average tenure, extremely high. And I'm not going to speak for all the other organizations out in America and abroad, since I found out that we're being listened to in other countries as well. I'm sure the average tenure with an older company as well will bear the same result, right? Obviously, if you've done business for 10 plus years, 20 plus years, you're doing something right. Also, you're keeping the people happy. So tell me about how you do that.
Well, number one, you want to create a culture where, again, I don't see myself as anybody's boss necessarily.
Okay.
I see myself as their business partner.
Because you work like they do.
Absolutely, I do.
You don't take a salary from the company?
I take a small salary from the company.
Okay, but you live off of...
My salary is 10% of my income.
Holy shit.
So if that puts it in perspective.
Yeah, big perspective. So you sell a lot.
I sell a lot.
You sell 90% of the time.
I sell twice as much as anybody else on my team.
That's a big statement.
Yeah. And
so you sell twice as much as your top salesman.
Yeah, and I've got several six-figure earners in commission as salespeople.
Woo! If that didn't light a fire under your ass, I don't know what will. So hyper-focused, lasered. So with your culture, you have built something worth talking about. So let's go with the events, because I went to an event with you not too long ago. It was really, really fun. I had a great time.
Yep.
And I was kind of on the fence about it. I was like, I haven't even talked about that. So when I got invited to come to your office and go down to Harka, I was like, listen, I'm downtown. For one, I was in fucking Clear Lake.
Yeah.
All right.
That was a long haul just to backtrack.
Yes. So I was in Clear Lake hanging out with my buddy that owns a solar company, Selenix. Shout out to Selenix, Richard. And I was having a great time, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta go. Bro, I gotta go. Hauled ass all the way up to your place, right? And I'm thinking on the way up there, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be late. They're gonna leave without me, and I'm gonna have to drive all the way back down myself. I was about to be fucking pissed.
You weren't told of the whole scheme then, evidently.
No, I was not. I did not know how you roll.
Right.
Like I just did not. I didn't understand how you rolled. I'm starting to unroll that onion now, right? And I really like it. But I got there and finally, I mean, you got this fucking long party bus, right? And everyone's pretty damn clean cut. Like your crew is not like baggy pants, saggy, nasty looking. They are very well high and tight.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're selling a lot of shingles.
Quality.
And they're all had smiling faces.
Yeah.
Your entire team talked to me, every one of them.
Yeah.
And they made me feel at home, and they did not know who I was.
Yep.
And I just walked into the van or the bus or whatever it was.
I feel like my staff can go head to head with any staff of any industry out there, man.
And like if they were fucking unhappy, they would have said something. They would have pulled me aside or someone aside and was like, yo, bro, because ultimately there was a little bit of drink involved, right? So people's lips are looser. I have talked to no one that had anything bad to say about you. And that's what I really like about your organization is when you talk to your sales staff and even the staff that's not sales, no one is saying that you're a bad person, that they haven't been paid by you, that Um,
That happens. People don't get paid. I can't imagine, bro.
I'm on the fucking distribution side for a reason.
Damn, man.
I'm on the distribution side because people change their fucking commission structure 3 times in a year. I'm in on this side of the fence, and I'm about to start lobbying for some change for the sales reps and organizations that are beholden to people that act like they're their fucking boss.
That's
not humble like what you are. And I'm not trying to puff you up. I'm just saying that you do things differently.
I mean, I've never been a part of other organizations than myself, right? I mean, I started this company. I worked for a company for 2 years, and one of the owners of that company and I started this company.
Okay.
So I don't have a lot of broad experience outside of what I do, but I do hear kind of industry stuff, right?
It's nasty out there, dude.
It's what's crazy, but I know it's nasty just because of a competition aspect of it, right? Of what the quality competition is out there. There's a lot of knuckleheads out there that run companies.
Like, okay, fuck. Let's just talk about it. Let's talk about pay. Let's talk about pay.
Let's do it.
Because you structure things differently with your sales organization. This is a big deal right now. W-2 or W-9 or 1099, right?
Yeah.
And so how do you pay your sales team, and why do you do that?
Well, I mean, my sales team are all still in the 1099 status.
Yeah.
But the vast majority of my salespeople all own their own LLCs or corporations, right? Because as a corporate,
so that's how you teach them that, right?
Yeah. Well, if you're going to be a high earner, which most of my guys are, once you hit a certain threshold, right, it's actually more advantageous to be an actual entity rather than working as an individual.
Yeah.
Right. From the whole self-employment tax and all that other stuff. Because if all of your earnings come into your organization, your LLC, your corporation, right, you pay yourself your fair and reasonable salary. And then the earnings outside of that are not subject to the self-employment tax that all of your earnings are subject to as an individual. Right. And plus, it also helps keep that line a little bit more clear between employee, independent contractor, right? Because when you're paying an entity versus an individual, that's a lot more cut and dry that I'm subcontracting this responsibility and this work than this individual that also happens to receive leads and all the other things that we provide for our people, right? But just because I wear a shirt that says Nike on it doesn't mean I work for Nike. You know what I mean? So there's give and take with all of that, right?
Right.
But in our world, right? And unless you are, I am never ever going to be the guy that wants to put my thumb on top of somebody.
Yeah.
And unless you're in that corporate structured world where you're going to do that, this industry is just not set up to have employee salespeople, in my opinion. Right? Even though I'm an organization that would probably.
So there's all different kinds of organizations out there, and it just depends upon how you're set up.
Well, most roofers, right? I mean, everybody, hey, you come to work for me, you knock on doors, right? At least with my organization, the vast majority of our business is done from appointment set, right? Which would put us more on the side of, well, you might consider employment. Well, even my guys, we may have appointments for them, but they still would be able to choose whether or not they want to take that lead or take that appointment.
Right. They could do what they want.
They can still do what they want.
So they're not required to go to that appointment?
No, I mean, they have the ability to set time off. They have the ability to.
Ultimately, though, if they don't go to that appointment, you're not going to give them more leads.
Well, it's really irrelevant to that, right? If they're unavailable, right? If they're unavailable, we're going to give that to someone that is available, right? So if the people are available, then they're going to have appointments that are set for them. Or if we set something and they're unavailable, they just let us know, hey, I'm unavailable for that, and we will move that to somebody that is.
The reason why I say this is because the reason why I bring this up is there's a huge shift in the industry right now. We talked about this a couple weeks ago.
Right.
W-2, 1099, what's right, what's wrong. I'm not a tax professional. I'm not going to advise anyone on the broadcast to do either or. but I was presented with some pretty interesting stuff at the last place of employment that I was at. Not necessarily by that employer, but by one of the employees that wasn't an employee, 1099.
All right.
And I didn't know that person was a 1099, and that person wasn't supposed to be a 1099. Person was supposed to be a W-2.
Sounds like office staff.
Office staff.
Yeah,
Big issue
that's
there.
a whole lot more dicey.
That is
right there.
extremely dicey.
Yep.
Right. And so when I got into that, I received a letter from the tax office that had a list of 20 items on there. And if you have 3 of those, you're considered an employee. She hit 16 of them.
16.
And every one of my sales reps hit 20 out of 20.
Wow.
All right. So I'm looking at this and it says that they have to be a W-2. And I'm like, holy fuck. Or they have to have an LLC.
Yep.
That is the only other way. So when I was talking to you 2 weeks ago, this is the biggest thing that I was thinking about. And I was like, dude, we should have got what we were talking about outside on fucking camera, because that was some good shit. We spoke some good. I mean, when you light up a good cigar and enjoy some.
I am known for lighting up a good cigar.
I always, man. That's what I like about you too, man. That cigars is not a bad.
It's one of the
bad combinations, man.
Of thunder.
I'm telling you what, lightning and thunder. So okay,
I'll drink to that.
The pay structure, I like not necessarily pay structure, but the way in which that they do get paid. Okay, so
the key is that we try to do things the right way.
And you consult a professional.
Absolutely.
Do you have a mentor?
I do. I have several mentors, right? And
okay.
Even mentors that you have, as you progress in your life, you sometimes outgrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you need different mentors, right?
Yeah.
We all need an education, right? And no matter where you're at in life, a good way to describe it, right? I mean, if you've never made 6 figures before, you're wanting a mentor that makes 6 figures, right?
Right.
Well, if you make 6 figures and you want to make $500,000, you want to find a mentor that makes $500,000.
Right.
If you're a $500,000 guy, you want to find a mentor that makes $1 million. Right. So no matter where you're at, you're wanting to be mentored by the next step and where you want to go. Shout
out to TJ McCormick if you're watching this. I kind of was talking to him about this yesterday. Because he was talking about wanting to hit that next level.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy fuck, dude, you already have. Like, you're there. And he's like,
there's always the next level, bro.
There's always the next level. And that
and there's nothing to be said.
I think I understand more what he was talking about yesterday, because I was like, no, fuck that, dude. You're a badass motherfucker. Keep that mindset. Because I listen to a lot of David Goggins, bro.
Yeah.
And that's like the inner bitch. You got to fucking get rid of that inner bitch.
They'll get rid of the comfortableness real
I'm telling you, bro. Being uncomfortable, being comfortable, being uncomfortable. Anyway.
And everybody's different, right? And one thing that is unique to me, right, is if you're somebody and you work for me and you're comfortable, like there's a lot of people that have different values in their life, right?
Yeah.
Some people value money, some people value time.
Ooh.
And that's one thing that this industry tends to cater to, right?
What do you find happiness in?
Oh, money. Yeah. But it's a quality, but money provides certain things, right?
Yeah.
It's not the end all say all, right? I mean, and that's probably a bad way to say it.
Yeah. No, but it's okay to like getting money, bro. Like,
no matter how much you have, you want more, right? But it's not that you're just trying to stock piles of money, but what money provides is security, stability.
What you can do with that money is what you're hitting at here.
But if I'm being truthfully, like deep down honest, what motivates me is being the best.
Ooh.
Is being at the top.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess so, because
being exceptional.
Yeah.
And that's one of the great things about this industry. The barrier for exceptionalism is pretty low. You could be what would be considered average in most industries.
Yeah.
You'd be considered exceptional here, which is sad,
man.
But it's very true.
So okay, look. if you compare a roofing company that is open 2 years
Yeah.
to your company, you can't. They're not on. They're not even in the same fucking race.
And man,
So
and
they're not in
just
the same fucking racetrack for one.
one thing,
The
and
cars are different.
and I want to recant just a little bit because that's kind of a bad way to say it. But like for me, when I say I'm motivated by money, money comes from doing things the right way. I'm not motivated by money in all aspects because I look back at things.
I'm talking about exceptionalism here, though. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to hit on that exceptionalism thing. I don't think that your average or your above average company that's 2 years is exceptional yet.
No,
I don't think that. I think that there is a line, but I do believe you in that respect that if you come into the roofing industry and you're just a little bit above average, you are exceptional.
Yes, I agree that. And one thing that I would say too is that doing things the right way. When we talked about the product being the end goal, for me, I can't tell you how many times I've taken a loss over guaranteeing that my product was exceptional above all else. Because
Holy shit.
if your product is exceptional above all else, the money always follows, right?
Right.
But when you put the money above everything else, you have a tendency to let the product dip, which ultimately is going to hinder you, injure you, and keep you from being able to be really where you want to be. So that was the main thing that I wanted to kind of
Okay, I
recapture
gotcha.
in what I was saying, because there are
Yeah.
many times that I make decisions that at the surface monetarily are not in my best interest, right?
Right.
But my ultimate goal is money, right? But when I see things past today, when I see things on the horizon, I see things in the broader spectrum, what makes the most monetary sense is sometimes to lose the battle, win the war, but ultimately ensure that at the core of everything that you do, that the product is exceptional. When the product is exceptional, everything else follows.
Do you read a lot of books?
Believe it or not, I don't.
Really?
No, I'm more of an
Holy
audiobook guy.
Okay.
I'll listen to books,
All right.
but I don't read a lot of books.
So you said you had a mentor,
Yep.
which is awesome. You go to conferences. What are you going to this year?
Well, I've been to several things this year already.
Did you go to IRE?
I did go to IRE.
Man, I missed you then.
Yeah, I was there, bro.
I was there too.
I was actually a panelist at the GAF Wealth Builder Conference.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Actually got to get on stage, talk a little bit.
Bro.
Yeah.
GAF. Invite me next time.
Hey,
I'd like to just hold the camera.
lift the skirt a little bit. You know where the GAF conference is going to be next year?
Houston.
Puerto Rico.
What?
Yeah, dude. We're going off the Continental next year.
No shit.
Yeah.
Why?
Island resort, man.
Really?
Hey, I'm not the powers that be, and I don't have a zero influence on that decision.
Hey, I mean, that
they
sounds good.
They say this is where we're going. I'm like, I'll punch my ticket. I've never been to Puerto Rico.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
I bet it'll be a great time.
So, okay. So, Wealth Builder, what else do you have planned for the year?
Man, for the rest of the year, obviously, I'm fairly involved in HARCA, RCAT. You know, the RCAT stuff's always come up in the fall. We tend to participate in that.
Yeah.
You know, outside of that, you know, just kind of keeping our nose to the ground and grinding it out. You know, we've had a great year of a fair amount of storms around us. Nothing crazy serious here, but you know, I'm optimistic about the year. We've had some of the
Waco
nuts. I mean, we won't be in Waco because we don't chase storms, right?
That's what I love about your company.
It's different, but here's how
hyper focused.
But here's how I benefit, right? When major storm events happen, it pulls a huge amount of my competition out of my market to where the organic shit that we're really good at is there. There's just less competition for it, right? Where we tend to succeed from that.
Man,
for me, nothing hinders my business more than
so
drought.
You're basically like,
yeah,
just sweeping it up.
Yeah. Well,
holy shit.
I tend to think we sweep it up all the time, but part of that has been built through years and years of consistency, right? When you're a client and you're talking to somebody, anybody can say whatever they want to say. They can talk however they want to talk. They can guarantee we're going to do this for however many years, but it's only as good as long as they've been around. When you've been around 21
Warranty.
years, when you tell them that you're going to guarantee it for X amount of time, it carries a lot more validity than the guy that's been in business 2 years. And
Mm.
most of the 2-year guys are in Waco chasing hailstorms.
I'm just
Because
going to let that resonate for a second.
There's a certain amount of organic business that's going to happen day in, day out. When you
Because
live in a
listen,
city
we're
like
not saying that
ours,
that's a bad business
no,
model.
I mean, hey, that's low hanging fruit, man.
But we are
That's great.
saying that if you're an established company, a certain
Yeah.
something happens.
If you have a desire to sleep in your own bed every night and kiss your kids goodnight and snuggle with your wife, there's ways to do it without having to go out of town and work.
I tried to figure out. So that's how it started. I started with Marty Haight at Roofing and Restoration Services of America. Shout out to Marty Haight and the company that he built. Marty's passed since then, but he taught me a lot about life and sales. And their aspect of things was go out and get it. It was hunt. They are a national sales organization out of Waxahachie, Texas. Little bitty one horse, pretty much. Well, I mean, it's bigger now, but
I know
anyway.
all about Waxahachie, dude. I grew up in Athens.
Oh shit, Whitney, Texas.
The Waxahachie Indians.
Yeah.
I know about those guys.
Oh, fuck. You ever party in Lake Whitney?
Negative.
Okay, that's where I met my wife.
I skipped all my partying days and went straight to roofing sales, bro.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, see, I had to have that intermittent period of time of washing dishes at Chicken Express to find myself again.
All right.
It was like a monotonous matrix. And I had to take the red pill, dude. I had to take the red or the blue. And I went down the fucking rabbit hole, bro. And for those that don't quite grasp the entrepreneurial mindset, tell us about when you started your business. Where was your mind at, and were you apprehensive at all?
I was very apprehensive, right? I mean, and rewind. I mean, this was such a young place in my life. Number one, I was already working for a roofing company.
Okay.
That in my life, I never dreamed I'd ever be working for a roofing company.
Right.
Had a lot of success.
Yeah.
Ended up putting college on pause because of the monetary success I was having, and quickly moved up into a management role. Was making a upper 6-figure income at a very young age. And this is over 20 years ago. This was like 2001.
Yeah.
And I was too silly to realize that I probably could have planned with any other company and been just fine. But I was stressing because of what was going on in the organization that I was working for, the demands they were putting on me, the demands they were wanting me to put on my staff of mostly guys that were very established career family guys. And man, it was nervous. And I had this opportunity to start this company with one of their former partners who had left 6 months before. And it was the typical definition of taking a step back, maybe even 2 steps back to take 3 steps forward. And that's always nerve-wracking anytime you're taking backward steps, right? Because if you don't have the confidence that knows that you're not only you're going to regain those steps and then some, it's touch and go, right? And there's nothing scarier. And Lord knows I wouldn't want to do it now.
Right.
But to have to go out into the environment and tell the customer that you're talking to at the door that if they get their neighbor, y'all could be my first 2 references.
Oh, shit.
Because I am not a misleading, sleazy guy, right? I'm not going to tell you something that's not true. Some people will, some guys will, but that's not me. But when I first started, that's what I had to do. And I had to have enough confidence and swagger that the people that I started out with were like, you know what? I've got enough confidence in your ability and your story and everything about you that I trust you're going to do a good, great job. And we did. And then that great job, and that's what I keep going back to. That's the key. The proof has to be in the pudding. As long as the product is quality, dude, everything else works itself out. As long as you're willing to put in the time to make the connections, to do the networking, to get to know the people that you need to get to know, and to make sure that every client you have turns into the next client, whether that be somebody they know or the immediate neighbors or whatever it has to be. And before you know it, you have a bluebell policy where you're supporting numerous sales guys with all the business that organically comes into your company because of that. Obviously, that's influenced a little bit too by the dollars that I spend in advertising.
Right, absolutely.
Right. But it's all one and the same. And again, my mindset in advertising is I spend money.
It's also the selection of the people that are in your organization
The
as well.
quality of guys that I have, right? I don't hire just anybody that'll go knock on the door, because you know what? I don't need to knock on doors.
Ooh, I like that.
I can send a quality representative that you'd welcome into your home out to come see you when you call in about a roof problem.
See, that's the thing, is would you want them in your home? And that's something that people don't think about whenever they look at hiring sales reps. Is, does this person look like they should be in your home?
Yeah. And another key, and again, not just helping my industry, was embracing the idea of doing repairs and maintenance.
Ooh. Yeah,
How many roofers is like, no, dude, all I want is re-roofs. I'm insurance re-roofs. So they want to repair, they call somebody else. That is fucking ignorant.
So how much of your sales is repairs and say repairs and new construction? Because
it's small, right? All of it's still small.
Yeah.
But I have enough repairs that I have a full-time repair tech that does at least 1 to 2 repairs a day every day for me.
Oh, what?
Full-time repair tech on salary.
So you have a truck. You have a
a
service truck.
But
that's fucking key for a lot of company. Well, okay, dude, here is a golden nugget that he's laying, because this repair truck, this service truck, if you have this service truck, generally that company is making considerably more than the company that doesn't have one.
Well, again, number one, it's free advertising.
I don't have the percentages,
right?
but I looked it up before I came in here.
Well, no, and the key is that number one, it's even if you break even on that part of your business, right? A lot of people don't want to do it because it's not as profitable as doing a re-roof. But what most people don't realize is repairs turn into re-roofs.
Oh, all the time.
Down the road, right? When you go out and you do a good job for repair, you know how many re-roofs that our company has done that was referred by a repair?
Oh, probably a lot.
Right? Because when everybody knows the social media game of, hey, who knows a good roofer?
Right.
You know, the people that chime in, anybody that's had their roof worked on, it doesn't matter if it's a repair or a replacement.
Yeah.
So if you've done a repair for somebody, they're going to recommend you the same way as a replacement.
Oh, shit. That's great. That's grassroots right there. So repairs, absolutely anything. Do you do roof coatings?
And by the way, with the repairs, you've got your repair service truck driving through the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
They're there, they're doing work. I mean, all of that branding, all that advertising is key.
Yeah. Oh man. So
and at the very grassroots of it is, if that person you did a repair for 6 months ago, 6 years ago, gets a hailstorm, who do they know that's a roofer? The guy that did the repair.
Right.
So you're the guy that gets the first call. And oh, by the way, all the neighbors around him like, oh, you did John's repair a few years ago? Obviously, you've been around a minute. We don't want to trust these knuckleheads knocking at my door.
Yeah.
Would you come look at our roof?
Yep. That's where it's at. So, like, I've always been the repair guy. Always. Yeah. So I know this is true, but the reason why I feel it's so key that everybody understands this is because they need to understand how to grow.
Yep.
And that's what this is all about. So I know we're getting close to the end. I really can't see from here if it's past an hour or not. I know it's probably past an hour. We'll talk for just a little bit longer and shut it off. So I know there's a bunch of comments over here. Hopefully it's fire content for these people. No, it is. But for the audience, I really want to go back into your mindset again. So have you overcame objections in your life, in your business, that you thought were going to crumble you? And how did you do that?
There's been a few projects I've taken on that I thought might crumble.
Holy shit. Okay.
I guess case in case, right? I mean, and done some big commercial projects.
Yeah.
And we're continuing to grow into more commercial projects.
Okay.
But education has an expense, right? Whether you have your education in the classroom or in OJT, everybody learns something, right?
Right.
And sometimes we all take on jobs that you're like, good Lord, see me through this job. Right. And I
Yeah.
think I give a lot of credit to not only my people and their character and their uh, perseverance, in addition to my perseverance, to just freaking take the licks and keep on ticking.
Yeah.
Because we've had a few jobs that we've all wished we never had done.
Yeah.
You know, I've done some jobs that I've taken red ink on, right, just to get
Same.
through, right.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things that can sink a ship is when you have a prideful owner,
Yeah.
right, that is more about their ability to be right than their ability to neutralize the situation,
Yeah.
right? Because you can be wrong and neutralize the situation and definitely neutralize the amount of damage it can cause. Because let's be honest here, right? When any kind of litigation is expensive litigation, whether it's
Yeah.
legitimate or not,
Ooh.
right? So I would always advise anybody to avoid litigation at all costs, even if you're 100% in the right. It's much less expensive to just suck it up and do whatever you need to do to avoid it.
That
Then
takes a level of humility.
it does, and also business sense, right? I mean,
Yeah.
but humility is key, is huge, because if your pride says, "No, I'm right. I'm not doing that," it's okay to be right and do the thing that's wrong that might cost you a few bucks to save yourself tons of bucks in litigation fees trying to argue and fight over what you think is right.
Mm.
Because at the end of the day, when you spend all of that money, or if somebody's holding your money, you just do what you got to do to make things go away and move on to the next one.
Mm. I love it. So, for the audience, for the contractors, for the entrepreneurs, or the people that are going into entrepreneurship in the future, what are 3 takeaways that you would say in the 20 plus years of business that you've been doing business? What are 3 takeaways that you would say that would be more key for them to hone in on or to learn from?
The biggest three. Number one is work your ass off. Don't set a freaking clock
Yeah.
of what your time schedule is,
Yeah.
because there's no start, there's no stop, right?
Yeah.
You do whatever it takes to be able to get the job done.
Yeah.
Number two, do what's right no matter what,
Yeah.
even if it costs you. Always do the right thing. There's never a wrong time to do the right thing.
Mm.
So if you always do what's right, you don't ever have to look over your shoulder or lose sleep at night that I got something over on somebody, or I skated this or I skated that.
I like that.
Always do the right thing. And I would say number three, know who you are and whose you are
Ooh.
above everything, and have that confidence in everything that you do, because ultimately that's going to define who you are. And if you know who you are and whose you are, then the decisions become a lot easier.
Damn. Man, I appreciate you bringing me out here. I really do enjoy every time I'm able to hang out, smoke cigar. Um, man, Harket was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
I look forward to the many things that we'll do in the future. I'm really looking forward to that GAF solar install, this ES shingle.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm really, really interested in this. Um, and so if you're watching, pay attention. Here in the next few months, right? You just sold one.
Yeah, we got another one coming up here in a couple months. I mean, it's sold, but we got to go through the normal permitting and HOA process. But right now, the feedback is still, 8 to 10 weeks. So hopefully, 8 to 10 weeks, this one will go up and
Dude,
be able to get some roof Dawn footage.
I'm extremely excited to be able to see the install, to watch it go up, to experience what you get to experience, and maybe what the client experiences as well. I think it's an awesome thing what you're doing. It's a very innovative thing in the industry as well as in our market. Not many people are doing this. you are the only one I know that has put up a GAF ES shingle. And once again, shout out to GAF and this phenomenal ES shingle that you have made, or else we wouldn't have had, this amazing broadcast to talk about. Again, thank you, Justin, for having me out to your place.
Yeah, man, my pleasure.
To the whiskey and cigar room, and let's go ahead and enjoy some good cigars and relax a little bit.
Man, I'm gonna enjoy it, and I would just say, hey guys, I mean, number one, I'm here. I love supporting our industry. Follow us. Our on Facebook, we're facebook.com/Fair Claims Roofing. Instagram, we're fairclaims_roofing.
Ooh.
So yeah, hit us some DMs or whatever, man. I mean, I'm there. I've got access to all the messages. I'd love to chat with you one-on-one, and yeah, I'm not very hard to find. So I love chatting with like-minded people.
And a big shout out to our big sponsor, Roofing Supply Incorporated. This is an awesome partnership that they brought me in on. About to be dropping a brand collab. Brand for the podcast, but
the double R, baby, the triple R, really.
Oh, it's a triple threat, baby. It is going down. Thank you, RSI, for the sponsorship. If you look it up here, great. Their logo is right here. You can look them up on Facebook, and our streams are going to their Facebook, go to my Facebook, and Roofing on the Rise. So you guys stay tuned, subscribe, like, and find us on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, just about anywhere that has an @ handle, we're there. Again, Roofing on the Rise. Thank you so much, and have a blessed evening.